Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode of Ask Huda. I am your host, Fuad Muhammad. Of course, today we welcome on the show as well our dear and respected Islamic scholar, Dr. Muhammad Salah. Assalamu alaikum, Doctor.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan, Fuad.
Barakallahu feek, Doctor. Just a quick reminder of our telephone numbers, 002238555248 or 249, or you can send us an email at ask, that's ask, @huda.tv. And of course, we'll prefer all the telephone calls in the very beginning of the program. Jazakallahu khair. Doctor, our first question here is from Brother Abdullah from the UAE, and he said, I would like to know the meaning of the hadith that Islam would be divided into 73 sects with regards to the madhabs.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأولين والآخرين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ثم أما بعد. Praise be to Allah alone. We praise Him and we seek His help. Whomsoever Allah guides is a truly guided one, and whomsoever Allah leaves astray, no one can show him guidance. There is indeed a sound hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ says, Jews have been divided into 71 sects, and Christians likewise have been divided into 73 sects, and he judged all those sects are in fire, as they've gone astray and changed the doctrine of Allah and the legislations which have been set to them by their prophets, Musa alayhi salam and Isa alayhi salam. So those who deviated from their prophets deserve to end up in fire. And he said similarly, and my ummah, he prophesied that his ummah will be divided as well into 73 sects. So this is a prophecy that has to be fulfilled. And it began in the first century of the migration of the Prophet ﷺ, where there was some rebels, some Khawarij, and then afterward we had the Shia sect, we had the Mu'tazila, then afterward we had those who claimed the prophethood and they had followers. We have the Batiniya, we have the Qadianis, the Baha'is, the Ahmadis, etc. So what I would like to say is, when the Prophet ﷺ said 73 sects, he said all of them are in fire except for one. And Nabi ﷺ did not leave for us a chance to speculate or to give some wild guesses as who would be saved. Rather, when he was asked by his companions, they said, Ya Rasulullah, which sect is it? Which party or group that would be saved on the Day of Judgment? Where we can say that those are the people who would not enter fire, rather they will receive salvation on the Day of Judgment and make it safely to heaven. And Nabi ﷺ did not give them a specific name. Rather, he gave them traits and characteristics. He said, مَا أَنَا عَلَيْهِ الْيَوْمَ وَأَصْحَابِي. Those who will be following whatever me and my companions are following today. So that indicates, without any doubt, that any person, whether it's an individual, or a family, or a big group, or a community, which is following strictly the guidance of the Quran and the Sunnah, the practices of the Prophet ﷺ and his companions, they deserve to be rightly guided, and they deserve to be saved on the Day of Judgment. I don't care whatever name they adopt, whatever name they may propagate amongst people. Because every party, they say, we are the saved party. So the 73 sects, 72 out of them will be destroyed, will be in the fire of hell, and only one will be saved. Does not necessarily have to be in one place. It could be scattered all over the world. A few individuals in this country, one person in that country, and a big group in this locality. As long as the person or the individual or the group are following the guidance of the Quran and the Sunnah, they are eligible to be from this party. The second part of the question, which is, does this cover or does it refer, this division, does it refer to the different schools of thoughts with regards to fiqh? No, obviously not. Our fuqaha, the jurists of the mainstream of the ummah, and on top of them, Al-Thawri, Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, wa Shafi'i, wa Malik, wa Ahmad, all those scholars are the scholars of Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah, the mainstream of the ummah. Their differences, they do not differ with regards to the issues of belief and aqidah, rather they differ based on the available references with regards to the acts of worship, how to be performed or to be made up, and so on. So based on the available references and whatever they considered sound or authentic at the time, they presented their views. Meanwhile, each one of them made it very clear that whenever there is more sound reference than the one which I relied on, then disregard my opinion and adopt the one which relies on the sound reference. That indicates that they were truly the scholars of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So if anybody is studying Hanafi madhab or Shafi'i or Maliki, that doesn't mean this is one of the sects of the 72 sects which the Prophet ﷺ said they will be destroyed. May Allah protect us.
Ameen. We have Brother Ahmed from Bahrain. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live on Ask Huda.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Two questions, please.
Okay.
My first question is on behalf of a cousin of mine who's living in the States with her husband. She's having quite a good, the relationship between her husband and herself is very good. Only problem is she would love to come and visit her parents back home. And apparently, it's a bit difficult for them. So she wants to know if there is any, visitation rights or something that she can kind of ask based on Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah, which, she can kind of demand from her husband.
Okay.
And if so, if there is something like this in existence, what is like the maximum period she can be away from her parents before she can again ask for these rights?
Okay.
That's the first question. The second question is on behalf of my wife, please.
Okay.
Regarding the Sunan prayers for Dhuhr, there's 4 before and 2 after. The question is, the 4 before that have to be prayed, should we pray it 2 by 2 or 4 in one go? And in case for some reason or another the Sunan are missed and the Fard is started, so she starts praying the Fard, is it possible to catch up the missed 4 Sunan after the Fard?
Okay. Okay. Jazakallah khair, Brother Ahmed there from Bahrain. We have Sister Hana from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live and ask their questions, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum assalam
wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please, Sheikh, I want to know, is it allowed for the Muslim woman to express her admiration of a look or the outfit of any non-mahram man?
Can you repeat the question, please, Sister Hannah?
Is it allowed for a Muslim woman to express her admiration of a look of a or the outfit
of a man who is not her mahram nor husband, right?
Yes.
No, it is not permissible, sister. Even though if you're sincere in intention and it doesn't really mean any bad thing, but it could give a wrong signal. If any person who's not with this pure intention, who is a righteous person, who's not a righteous person, and a woman says, I like your dress, I like your outfit, I like your color, I like whatever, it can be carried on the wrong way. And we have been commanded to block the means which may lead to rebelliousness or sinning. So it is not permissible to do such thing.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Doctor. We have Brother Shabir from the UAE. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live on Ask Huda. Your questions, please.
Yeah, wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. I have a question about Adhan and Iqama. Adhan, you repeat 2 times every verse, and Iqama, you say 1 verse and only Iqamat is Salah twice.
Okay.
So is there any other opinion also that says that some people from certain countries, they say Iqama also the same way like Adhan, including Iqamat is Salah twice?
Okay.
So which is the correct opinion?
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Brother Shabir there from the UAE. Brother Abdullah's second question is quite a strange one. He wants to know if the Muslims today, all the Muslims today, are on the path of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ.
We can never generalize. As I began last episode by answering a similar question that most of people are saying, no, this is not the case. In fact, there is a sound hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, and this is a complementary hadith to the previous one, which I quoted from Abu Huraira, in which the Prophet ﷺ prophesied the division of his ummah, etc. There is another hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تزال طائفة من أمتي على الحق ظاهرين لا يضرهم من خالفهم أو لا يضرهم من خذلهم ولا من خالفهم حتى تقوم الساعة. In the quotation of Imam al-Bukhari, حتى يأتي أمر الله. So either way, تقوم الساعة or يأتي أمر الله, they provide the same meaning. What does it mean? It means there will be always a victorious party or group of the Ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, religiously committed, righteous and pious, struggling for the cause of Allah, fighting for the sake of Allah, supporting the deen of Allah. They will be victorious. They will be able to maintain the practices of their deen, and this practice will continue until the Day of Judgment. Meaning, whatever the enemies of Islam are dreaming of, to put out the light of Allah or to erase Islam off the face of the earth, that will never ever happen, not even for a temporary time. There will be always a group of the Ummah that will be victorious and showing and expressing their religious commitment and practice, no matter how much the whole world and the enemies of Islam are opposing them. They will remain victorious and superior. This case and condition will continue to take place until the Day of Judgment. Here there was a dispute between a couple of the companions with regards to what does it mean until the Day of Judgment, because there is another hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تقوم الساعة إلا على شرار الخلق. Meaning, when the Day of Judgment will be established, when it takes place, what will happen? Only the worst kind of people will be living at that time. So the believers will be gone. But the hadith says this party or group and this condition of superiority would last until the Day of Judgment. So it does not have any conflict of interest. There is no conflict in the meaning of the two hadith, because there is a third hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ explained the relationship between the two hadith, where he said that before the occurrence of the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send a smooth wind, with which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take the souls of the believers. So no one would last, no one would be living at the time before the establishment of the Day of Judgment or the blowing in the trumpet, but the worst creatures. So the hadith means then, this ta'ifa or group of the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be victorious, will be religiously committed until the Day of Judgment, until whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ready to establish the Day of Judgment, He will send this one to take all the souls of the believers. Even the weak believers, there will not be a single person who has an atom weight of Iman in his heart. They will be dead. Then the Day of Judgment will be established, and the horror of that day will be experienced mostly by the worst kind of people. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khair, Doctor. We have Sister Khadija from the United States of America. Assalamu alaikum, Sister. You're live on Ask Huda.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My question is regarding cupping.
Okay.
I live in an area where I don't know of any Muslim female practitioner. So I was calling to ask if those who practice Chinese medicine, if they do cupping, like the wet cupping that the Prophet ﷺ prescribed, will one benefit from such a cupping, or does it have to be done by a Muslim during the days that he recommended?
Okay.
And my second question is, if one happens to talk during khutbah, like if you tell your child to sit down, does that reduce your reward of getting the Jummah? Should you pray Dhuhr after you complete the Jummah Salah?
Okay. Jazakallah khair. Interesting question there from Sister Khadija there from the United States of America. Safiya, she said, Doctor, I had a lot of misfortunes, loss of money, I had a fracture. She wants some recommendations on what she can do during these time of misfortunes.
Okay, number one recommendation is patience. Then second, after patience, is to be pleased with Allah's decree. And this is the case and the condition of the believers. Whatever happens is all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we have to be ready for tests and trials. Sometimes they come all of them at the same time, one after another. you get in a car accident, you lose a son or a daughter, you file for a divorce, or you lose your job, etc. These are all serious tests. Some people, or the weak and the fragile individuals, would just lose it. And some people would turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and will criticize Him. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises and admires the true believers whom upon being afflicted they are patient by saying وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ صَلَوَاتٌ مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ. And give glad tidings to the patient ones, whom whenever they are afflicted with a calamity or a disaster, they say, indeed, we all belong to Allah and unto Him we shall return. This calamity does not necessarily have to be death. Anything which is either lesser or greater than death. So I teach my children, if anybody breaks a cup or a glass, we should also say the same. We all belong to Allah, including the glass, including the plate, including whatever that we may lose. A flat tire, we should say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We all belong to Allah and unto Him we shall return. Then, expect the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for enduring patiently this calamity, because the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the sound hadith, ما يصيب المؤمن المسلم من هم ولا نصب ولا حزن حتى الشوكة يشاكها إلا كتب له بها أجرا. In another narration, إلا كفر الله بها من خطاياه. Nothing that hurts a believer, or nothing that he is tested with, whether it's an illness or poverty or adversity, even if it is a thorn that penetrates your skin, with which, with your patience for this test or the trial, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala erases some of your sins, purifies you from your sins, and raises you in ranks. So we should look at it this way, and we should expect the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should never be pessimistic by saying that it is because of this house or this car or the new job or the neighborhood, because the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا عدوى ولا طيرة. We do not believe in bad omens. Rather, we should understand that it all happens and takes place by the leave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, whether you're patient or not, that's going to happen. But you will become a winner if you endure those calamities patiently and expect the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, you come out of this test and the trial with a magnificent amount of reward, versus somebody who went through the same test, maybe even severer, but because he objected, he criticized, and he blamed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was not patient nor thankful, such person will be punished furthermore, in addition to the test which he could not stop nor avoid. Wallahu a'lam.
Ya Allah, I'll make us patient. We have Sister Maryam from UAE. Assalamu alaikum, Sister. You're live and ask your questions, please.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have a question for Sheikh Muhammad Salah.
Okay, go ahead.
Firstly, inshallah, I find you both in the best of health and iman. Inshallah.
Thank you, and you too, sister. May Allah bless you.
Sheikh Muhammad Salah, I have a question regarding the Salah. At the end of the Salah, when we give the salam to both sides, from the time I became Muslim, I understood that we're giving salam to the angels. When I brought this up a few days ago with another sister, she said, no, this is not true. If you could please clarify it for me, Sheikh, because now I have some confusion of the salam, and I'd like to give her a correct answer. And if you could answer me today, Jazakallah khair.
I'll do our best,
Okay.
inshallah.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Maryam there from the UAE. We also have Sister Sumayya from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum, Sister. You're live and ask Quran.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, sir?
Alhamdulillah. And yourself?
Sheikh, I want to ask you that I have a chance in the airline as an air hostess. So I can work in the national airline. It's not international. It's within the country.
Okay.
So is it allowed to work as an air hostess in such an airline? Because I'm working hard for finding a job, and I have this chance only. So I don't know what to do in this regard.
Sister Sumayya, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, would you take my advice?
Yeah, why not, sir? That's
No.
why I call you.
Please do not take such job, whether it's national or international. It is definitely prohibited for a woman to walk between the aisles, and everybody is looking at her and at her body. She's leaning over, she's picking up items, she's serving everybody. And you know what you need to wear, you know what you need to do. And within the country, traveling from a place to another, this is also a travel distance. So would you have...
why not?
Yeah, please. And I want to tell you one thing. Insha'Allah Azza Jal, if you do need to find a job, and if you have to work in order to find or to make an earning, and you leave this job for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm pretty sure that one day you'll call me and say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the doors of provision for you from much better ways, because the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Man taraka shay'a lillah, abdalahu Allahu khayran min. It is not permissible for a woman to work as a
and Sheikh, I want to know, how can one submit totally to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
MashaAllah.
Okay.
On the highest rank.
Inshallah, that will be answered in order, but because of the importance of the first part, I give it priority.
I have a chance for dawah as well.
Okay.
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Sister. Jazakallah khair, Sister Sumaya there from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Brother Hamza is asking about the ruling about the leaf called qat, which is used in Yemen. He says, some says it's a drug, some say it's just it's not. He said, I have used it personally, I didn't find it intoxicating nor addictive. What's the ruling?
The bottom line and the conclusion, the more right opinion, it is prohibited, and Muslims should avoid consuming anything which would put them to sleep or make them lazy or would give them any feeling other than the normal feeling, whether it's a narcotic feeling or a stimulant feeling. So I really made some investigations concerning the nature of this leaf and its negative effect on the individual and on the entire society. There are whole societies which are in recession sometimes because most of its people are just living on consuming the qat. And not working most of the time during the day because they're just lying down eating qat. So the more right view in this regard, it is prohibited. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, and Abdullah from Qatar, she said, her relative is making Umrah, and she said that her Hindu friend gave them 100 riyals to share to the people of Mecca. She wants to know if this is permissible.
It's okay. If even a non-Muslim gives you some money to pass it on in charity, I would pass it. It's a benefit for the poor. Meanwhile, I guess this is a good opportunity to explain to the donor that if you really want to receive a reward, then you need to do it only for the sake of the Lord, your Creator. So this is a good opportunity to give da'wah, because brothers and sisters, every Muslim would definitely have a chance to give da'wah. Wheresoever you are, even if you're being investigated by the customs at any airport, you do have a chance, and that happens to us all the time. Whenever some people stop us here or there, and we have learned that from the Prophet ﷺ and his companions. Haram ibn Malhan, may Allah be pleased with him, one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, who was assassinated from behind with a spear. His murderer, when he threw the spear in his back, it went through. The blade came out of his chest. So when Haram ibn Malhan, may Allah be pleased with him, he was one of the Hafadha who went out to teach people the Quran. So they betrayed him and they killed him, they assassinated him. What happened is, once he saw the blade, he said, Fuztu wa Rabbil Kaaba, Fuztu wa Rabbul Kaaba. So what he said, I succeeded in the name of the Lord of the Kaaba. And he kept repeating that. So his murderer, the one who assassinated him, heard that. He didn't understand what he's talking about. He went to him, he turned around and he asked him, I killed you. What are you talking about? What kind of success are you talking about? I killed you. So he explained to him, and people explained to him that because he died as a martyr for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the ultimate goal of a believer, to give even his life, which is the most valuable thing, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And guess what? The person who murdered and who assassinated and killed Haram ibn Malhan accepted Islam and entered Islam because of the statement of Haram ibn Malhan when he said, Fuztu Rabbul Kaaba. Somebody is giving you 100 whatever currency in order to give in a charity in Mecca. Why in Mecca? Because there is a reason. He said that she's a Hindu. This is a wonderful opportunity to explain to the person. He said, sure, I would do that. I would give the money. The beneficiaries, it does not really matter for them as long as it is halal money. Whether it's coming from a Hindu, from a Muslim, from a Christian, it doesn't matter. But now what matters is the donor himself. Work on him or her. Explain to them. Why are you taking out of your money such amount? $100 for instance, why? Because I want to receive a reward. I want to participate in helping humanity and assisting the poor. Why? What is the purpose? What is the ultimate goal? To receive a reward from whom? From fire? From a cow? From an animal? From an idol that you made? From a statue? From something that does not even exist? From the sun or from the moon? Rather, it should be from the creator of all of that. So you have a wonderful opportunity to give da'wah to every person in every case or condition.
Jazakallah khair, Doctor. We have Brother Muhammad from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live on Ask Huda. Brother Muhammad, are you with us?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam, big brother.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Go ahead, Muhammad.
I have two questions. The first one is why Ibrahim alayhi salam is called the son of Allah, is the friend of Allah.
Okay. And the second question?
Called the friend of Allah. And my second question, when I say something to my friends, they do not believe it, and they say to me say to me, I swear, or say Wallahi, or so what could I say to them to believe on me?
Okay. Thank you very much, Brother Muhammad there. Good to have some young callers on the program. We also have Brother Ahmed from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live and ask your questions, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
I have two questions. First of all, I want to thank Doctor and your program that is teaching us a lot. Myself is calling here first time, and I'm following this program from the last many years, and has corrected lots of my mistakes and it's guided me a lot. Alhamdulillah. I have two questions. One regarding zakat, and second regarding witr prayer.
Okay.
Let me ask witr first.
Okay.
I was offering witr like Hanafis, like 2 rakats and then sitting for tashahhud and then coming up and making one extra takbir and then du'a qanut and then finishing that. Then I read some ahadith that it's not like this. You have to make continuous without sitting. Even Sheikh Muhammad said also the same thing. And then I want to know how I can offer 3 witrs and when to read qanut. Or if it is not like this, how I can offer 1 witr.
Okay, got it.
Okay, the second question is regarding zakat. I have bought some lands, quite expensive piece of land in Pakistan. So I want to know, my niyyah is not clear. I will sell it or I will keep it for my, children's future or something like that. So my niyyah is not clear. So if I will get a good profit or something, I will sell it or maybe I will keep it for my daughters.
Okay.
So my question is, do I have to pay zakah on that?
Okay.
If I have to, how it can be calculated?
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Brother Ahmed there from Qatar. We'll take a short break here on Ask Huda, and we'll be back right after this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We are excited to inform our viewers that the Quran in Depth with Sheikh Ibrahim Zidan will be filmed live starting on Mondays at 1800 GMT.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the Quran, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. That we reveal from the Quran what is cure and mercy to the believers. So the Quran is the cure. Cure physically to the diseases physically in the body and in the heart. We were ordered to recite Surah Al-Fatiha in every time we stand in the Salah. Pillar of the Salah. We need to change our life according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, according to this book. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that the Quran is the thing between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever holds fast to it, he would never be led astray.
We will take your calls and answer any questions you may have, as well as help you in your journey to understand the Quran properly. We hope you will join Huda TV and Sheikh Ibrahim Zidan every Monday from 1800 GMT until 1900 GMT for the Quran in Depth.
You know, sometimes it's important to take a break. We need to take a break. Take a break from what? From the everyday things to look at what we're really doing as Muslims. That's why we said we really need to have this program for you and for me to take a break right here on Huda TV. Stay with us because we've got a lot coming up on Take a Break.
I say that the translation has been indirectly influenced with the Israelite narrative.
We haven't faced any problems in our preparations.
We can't call it the wise Hajj. In Egypt, you have a huge amount of initiative going on in terms of developing qualifications in different parts of the system.
Reading helps you gain knowledge, but saving the net doesn't help you at all.
They are all welcome to participate in the discussion and the debate about the development of qualifications.
What types of books our children do or should read?
Join me for further discussion of Focus Point.
Huda, a light in every home.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Huda. Quick reminder of our telephone numbers 0020385555 248 or 249. Or if you don't have the chance to call us, you can always send that email at ask, that's ask@huda.tv. Dr. Abdullah's second question, she says, can I let my baby wear clothes with images of animals in it?
For infants and toddlers, it is okay. It's not permissible for grown-up kids. And it is better to avoid anything that has the pictures of complete animals anyway.
Okay, and Sister Sabah from the UAE, she says, what is the difference between the whispers of shaitan and the evil of ourselves?
Great. Both the Prophet ﷺ sought refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from their evil. And we find that the scholars say there is a very interesting mean of differentiating between them. First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَإِمَّا يَنزَغَنَّكَ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ نَزْغٌ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّهُ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. And another verse, إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. The verse of إِنَّهُ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ is 200 of Surah Al-A'raf, and the other one which ends up with إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ in Surah Fussilat. What does it mean? Whenever Satan whispers to you, then seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in another verse that إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ لَهُ سُلْطَانٌ عَلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. The Satan does not have any authority on the believers and those righteous ones. Rather, his authority is on his followers, the weak ones, the sinners.
Yes.
In addition to the verses by the last couple of chapters of the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us to seek refuge from certain things. He said, وَمِن شَرِّ الْوَسْوَاسِ الْخَنَّاسِ. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil of al-waswas al-khannas. Satan is described in this verse with two traits. And these two traits are very important for us in order to understand the nature of Satan's. Waswas, constantly whispering. Yanzagh, yuwaswas, fine. That's his task. إِنَّهُ يَرَاكُمْ هُوَ قَبِيلُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُم. And that's why they whisper and we cannot see them. They can see us but we cannot see them. But the most interesting part is the second trait, which is inseparable from the first trait, which is al-waswas al-khannas. Khannas, الشيطان is very weak. إِنَّ كَيْدَ الشَّيْطَانِ كَانَ ضَعِيفًا. Indeed, the plots of Satan is very weak. So that's why once you seek refuge with Allah, he runs away. He cannot stand the mention of the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or seek a refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or reciting a verse from the Quran. So it is very easy to defeat a shaitan. We have the lengthy hadith, which we don't have time to repeat it over again, of Abu Huraira, who was taught by Satan how to defeat him. He said that, when he came to steal from the charity 3 times, and he said, in the last time, if you let me go, I will teach you something. That whenever you go to sleep, recite Ayatul Kursi. You shall receive a protection until the morning. No Satan can come near to you. And if you recite it in the morning, you would have a protection until the evening. The Prophet ﷺ said to Abu Huraira, صَدَقَكَ وَهُوَ كَذُوب. He has spoken the truth even though he is a liar himself. That's a shaitan. He's teaching us, you need a protection? Recite Ayatul Kursi in the evening and in the morning before you go to sleep. Seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And anger, a shaitan is the main cause of anger, and that's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that I know one statement, if this person who is angry or to say it, it will relieve him from his anger, which is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us whenever we come to recite the Quran, فإذا قرأت القرآن فاستعذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Okay. So the summary of that, a shaitan is very weak. Yes, we cannot see him. He's constantly whispering, but he is very weak. Once you say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, he disappears. But the evil of ourselves, once it builds up until it becomes a will or a azima, it is very difficult to resist. For instance, whenever you have a tendency to commit an evil, and you say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, and that evil thought departs your mind and it goes away, that was from a shaitan. Because the main whisperer, the main cause is gone.
Yes.
But when you keep saying, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, and you're still having this date with the girl, or still drinking, then a shaitan have nothing to do with that. It is the evil within oneself. And that's why Imra'atul Aziz said, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quoted her saying في Surah Yusuf, وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ إِلَّا مَا رَحِمَ رَبِّي إِنَّ رَبِّي غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Oneself is inclined into evil by nature, except for those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covers with mercy. And that's why we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constantly to protect us against the whispers of a shaitan and the evil within ourselves.
Jazakallah khair, Doctor. We have Brother Mahmoud from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum. Brother, you're live and ask Huda your questions, please.
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa
rahmatullah. Just wanted to ask you one question, and I've recently relocated from...
Brother Mahmoud, can you please raise your voice a bit, please?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I've recently moved from the West with the idea of coming to a Muslim country. And after being here for a few months, my ideals of the picture I had has actually been squashed from the way people act, and I'm not really happy here. At work as well. So I'm contemplating on going back to the West, but I'm not happy to go there as well. So I don't know if you have any advice.
Okay, I got the picture, Brother Mahmoud. Jazakallah khair. That's Brother Mahmoud there from Qatar. We also have Brother Abdul Rauf from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Muhammad Salah and Brother Fawad.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother, before you go ahead, can you please turn the level of the volume of your television set down, please?
Yeah, I'm doing that. Dr. Salah, my first question is, I wanted to know...
you didn't do it yet.
Wiping on
I can hear myself on your TV.
Is prohibited, or is it a serious sin?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I was told by one of my friends, it is so serious that if you are wiping on your neck during the ablution, as if you have cut your neck by the sword.
Okay.
And my second question is, when we take a normal shower, and then do we have to put on our clothes before making the ablution, or we can just make ablution in the same state? Okay.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Brother Abdul Rauf there from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Uthman, her third question was authentic statements about Manazil and Jundul Arsh.
There is no sound reference to such thing, and I guess many of the callers, including one sister from Saudi who wanted to actually quote this kind of dua or invocation, and we stated that it has no reference in our deen. And please, there is a lot of invocations which are sound that have been invoked by the Prophet ﷺ. He taught us or he instructed his companions to supplicate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with. So why do we abandon all of the good and sound references, and we tend to adopt something that has no reference whatsoever, and it may contain some phrases which would oppose the main concept of our Sharia. We should not confuse what's cultural or what's religious. Meaning, with regards to the ibadat, all the ibadat tawqifiyya, prayers, fasting, dua, certain recitation, these are all instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and explained in details by His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If somebody wants to invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by any dua, he wants to buy a new Mercedes, and he keeps saying, oh Allah, give me a 600. And he keeps asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him a car. That's fine. But to prescribe a dua in a book and say, if you invoke Allah with this dua 3 times before you go to sleep, you get up in the morning and you find a car parking before your house, that's not permissible. In order to reach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is only one way, which is through what He instructed us to do.
Yes. Jazakallah khair. We have Brother Hussein from Qatar. A lot of calls from today from Qatar, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live on Ask Huda. Your questions, please.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Go ahead.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum
assalam. Assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have a daughter. She's 1 month old.
Can you please turn down the volume of your television set, please?
What about the khatna for the daughter or woman? I don't know.
What is Brother Hussein, can you repeat the question?
Khatna.
Okay.
They are saying it's like man.
Okay.
They are saying we want to make khatna for the woman, daughter also.
Okay. Okay.
What about I don't know if it's right or wrong.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Brother Hussein there from Qatar. We also have Brother Ali from Oman. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live on Ask Huda. Your questions, please.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Salah.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Ali.
First of all, I would like to praise Allah and then people like Sheikh Salah, from who we learn a lot about our religion.
We all praise Allah alone. Alhamdulillahi wahda. Jazakallah khair.
Second, my request to Sheikh Salah is that my son is very sick and he is under treatment in USA. I would request a special prayer for him, and if Sheikh Salah can tell us what ayahs from Quran to pray for him.
Okay.
Okay.
And my second question is that we have been taking out some sidqa for our son, and twice my wife has given to a non-Muslim lady who's a worker in my brother's house. Is this jaiz or not?
Okay.
Thank you very much, brother.
Barakallah
and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all.
Thank you very
Brother
much.
Brother Ali, أسأل الله العظيم رب العرش العظيم أن يشفي ابنك. I ask Allah the Great, the Lord of the Great Throne, to cure your son, to give him a quick recovery. شفاه الله وعافاه. اللهم رب الناس أذهب الباس اشفيه أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاءك شفاء لا يغادر سقما. And if you can leave not necessarily your phone number, or at least tell us in which state and hospital is your son, perhaps I'll be able to visit him in a few days, inshallah, if it is possible. Jazakallahu khair.
Jazakallah khair, Doctor. We have Brother Ayman from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
And let's make this the last phone call,
okay,
because
inshallah.
we have to answer many questions.
Okay, so go ahead, Brother Ayman.
Okay.
Brother Ayman, okay, barakallah fiqh. That's Brother Ayman there from Egypt.
We truly apologize to the callers who would like to give us a call and present their questions, but in order to accommodate all the pending and the backlog questions, we will have to request you to hold your phone calls.
Okay, jazakallah khair. Her third question, she says, that's Sabah from the UAE. She says, how can I decide whether my intention is correct or not?
This is a challenge. It is not something where I can say, okay, run to this pharmacy and take those pills and you will be fine, you will have a good intention the rest of your life. No. This is a matter that we have to prepare before every act.
SubhanAllah.
We have to maintain during the action. Then we have to keep watching for it even after we finish. I mentioned these 3 stages before repeatedly. So once again, before doing anything, I have to prepare an intention. Why am I doing that? visiting any person, for instance, why am I doing that? If it is for the sake of Allah, the reward is guaranteed. Or is it simply because he visited me once and I'm paying him back so that we're even? And then you got your reward. This is a worldly reward. So imagine the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compared to any worldly insignificant reward. That would really make your intention, or you would really struggle to make your intention pure. And remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَهُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَعُونَ. Especially if it was a good deed or an act of worship and somebody is doing it in order to please Allah and fulfill his duty towards Allah, meanwhile in order to please people or whatever, then the whole act will be rejected. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the hadith, أَنَا أَغْنَى الشُّرَكَاءِ عَنِ الشِّرْكِ بِي مَنْ أَشْرَكَ بِي شَيْئًا تَرَكْتُهُ وَشِرْكُهُ. So this is very serious. And the risk of associating others with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any deed would ruin the deed, definitely, no doubt. So this is very important to maintain during every act that we do.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Doctor. Sister Subia has a question here. She's also from the UAE. She says, is lethal injection permissible in Islam?
No, definitely it is not permissible. It is not permissible to, obviously she was talking about giving somebody rest, what they call it in the West, expedite his death because they're suffering of the pain or cancer, or no, that's not permissible. No one is allowed to take the life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala maintained except for al-qasas, which is equality in punishment. لا يحل دم امرئ مسلم إلا بإحدى ثلاث. It is not permissible except for 3 occasions. All of them are punishment or hudud.
Yes.
But somebody who's sick and who's struggling, when somebody was on the battlefield and he fought and he killed himself because of the suffering of the pain of his injury, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he's in fire. It is not permissible to take your own life nor take the life of others without a just cause. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, and her second question, she says, at what age is one considered responsible for his beliefs
Age of puberty. Age of puberty. And that is determined in boys and girls by either some of those symptoms such as experiencing wet dreams for boys or girls. For girls, obviously the menstruation, which may appear at the age of 9, 10, 11. Nowadays, kids are getting grown up because of the advancement of knowledge and technology and the facilities we have. They grow up quicker and faster. We've seen, for instance, me myself experience, have seen that my colleagues delivered a girl who was 9 years old in the States. So she bore a child, she conceived and she bore a child and she delivered at this age, you can imagine. So the most important signs are those physiological signs. The period for a girl, either wet dream for either boys or girls, or if they do not experience any, then there are some physical or physiological signs such as deepening the voice for a boy, growing the pubic hair, etc. If none of that and they do not experience, then the fuqaha have various opinions. Some they said the age of 15, for instance, is the final age. If they do not see any of those signs, a child will be judged as grown up. Before this age, before the puberty age, or experiencing any of those signs of puberty, the person is not responsible. As the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, رُفِعَ الْقَلَمُ عَنْ ثَلَاث. One of them is وَالصَّبِيُّ حَتَّى يَبْلُغ, and a child or a youngster until he or she reaches the age of puberty.
Okay, and her third question, she says, we learned that anger wipes away good deeds. What does this mean? The feeling of anger, or
I cannot find such reference to this statement. Yes, anger is dispraised, is cursed, and the Prophet ﷺ in numerous hadith advised us, such as in the sound hadith by Bukhari, when Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated that a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, advise me. He said, La taghdab. So he said, advise me. He said, La taghdab. And third time he said likewise, La taghdab, don't get angry. And the explanation of this hadith, you can find it in Jami' al-Ulum al-Hikam for Ibn Rajab. Wonderful, wonderful explanation that the whole ummah has to learn. It's not that don't get angry and that's it, no meaning. Do not undertake the means which will cause you to get angry. Then, in case that you get angry, you need to learn how to control your anger. As the Prophet ﷺ said, لَيْسَ الشَّدِيدُ بِالصُّرَعَةِ إِنَّمَا الشَّدِيدُ الَّذِي يَمْلِكُ نَفْسَهُ عِنْدَ الْغَضَبِ. The powerful one is the one who can control and suppress his anger whenever he's angry. So, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also said that amongst those whom Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala will bless and please one who is controlling or suppressing his anger while he is capable to release it by hurting others. And في Surah Al-Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned among the traits of al-muttaqeen, whom were promised with paradise and forgiveness. He said, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. And those who suppress their anger, they control their temper, and they pardon people. So anger is dispraised, especially acting upon it. It is recommended to avoid it. It is recommended unless if it is for the sake of Allah, like somebody who's violating the hudud of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Somebody is doing something that is very evil. We should get angry, but we should not say but the truth. We should not make any remark that would displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or hurt others. And we should not act upon it as well. And if somebody is angry for personal reasons, then he is admired. And he is commanded to control his temper, and to experience patience, and to expect a reward in that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in this verse of Surah Al-Imran, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Among is the list of al-muttaqeen wal-kadhimeen al-ghayza wal-'afina 'anil nas wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Doctor, for being with us once again here on Ask Huda. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to preserve you and bless you, inshaAllah. All the viewers who didn't have the chance to call in, you can still send that email at ask, that's ask@huda.tv, and we'd like to say a special Jazakallah khair to all the viewers who've been supporting Ask Huda and all the other programs here on Huda TV. And for those who would like to, you can write to us at support@huda.tv. And don't forget, you can be an active member of Huda TV. Just sign into our website, www.huda.tv. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If my love is attached to thee, then from sins I will be free. Each time my heart will beat, your name will resound with heat. Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.